Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Once Upon a Studio. This is the 2023 15-minute animated and live-action short. It is kind of a dream come true for Disney fans. This is not necessarily just to celebrate the 100 years since Disney animation began. It's Disney. It's a celebration of Disney, and it's a celebration of the community, the family, the fans. It's hard to just say fans because it's rarely ever a one-way thing where we're just consuming or observing, although we do consume a lot of Disney things. Disney Plus. We also, it becomes intrinsic for people who enjoy Disney. It becomes an element of their lives. For those of us lucky enough to live near theme parks, say in California or Florida or Japan or Paris or anywhere else around the country, around the world, it almost becomes a routine. I follow a number of different groups online that talk about their just day-to-day experience. They go to Disney, it seems like every day. And I'm a little jealous. I used to do that more often, but I don't anymore. COVID. Anyway, so in this compilation of sorts, this is a greatest hits. This is a moment to celebrate. Not with people who created the characters, although there are some that appear very briefly at the beginning. We get to celebrate with the characters themselves all at once. This is Disney animation, so don't expect to see Pixar characters thrown in here, even though they're kind of an extended part of the family. But this is all Disney. This is everything from Cinderella and Snow White, Jiminy Cricket leading everybody in When You Wish Upon a Star, to I don't remember her name from Wish, and the girl from Encanto, and yeah, I can't remember their names, but here's Moana hanging out with Flounder from The Little Mermaid. So it's 2D animation, it's 3D animation in the real world. It's the characters coming off the paintings and the cell art and everything else off the walls and coming into the real world to gather to take a group photo. And yeah, things don't necessarily go the way things planned. Unfortunately, Donald has to hold the elevator for Flash from Zootopia, and Baymax decides to squeeze his way in there. He's a little annoyed at that, but Donald's usually annoyed. Goofy's in charge of taking the picture. You know how that's going to work out. But there's magic that solves everything. Mickey does his best to wrangle everybody, to bring everything together, because, he's kind of the boss in a sense. He brings them together. And it's a little misty-eye kind of moment. By the way, what makes it misty-eye is the fact that we hear the voices, a lot of the original people providing the voices for the characters. I don't know if they kind of AI lifted them and put them in this, or if they just took actual lines, like Peter Pan. I didn't verify that it was the actual voice of Peter Pan, but it sounds a whole lot like him. It could have been just lines lifted literally from the film. Like, aye, aye, Captain, here we go, that kind of thing. And Wendy and the brothers all flying around behind him. We get to hear, John C. Reilly as Wreck-It Ralph. We get to hear Robin Williams. Yes, I did see that part of the credits. Robin Williams is credited as Genie. You get to see characters you've almost forgotten about mixed in with characters you see almost constantly on Disney channels and in the parks and all the new movies and all the old ones. Anna and Elsa there, and Dina Menzel and Kristen Bell. They get to show up. The good guys and the bad guys all show up in the same place. Yeah. Is it Hades? Hades is there. Scar is there. So yeah, it is If only they could have, Pat Carroll had passed, they could only had Ursula join in as well. But I think she might be somewhere in the background. I'm not sure. But I honestly, if you're a Disney fan and you haven't watched it yet for some reason, maybe you missed it. I know they were hyping it at the end of last year when they were finalizing the 100th anniversary, the Disney 100 anniversary. If you haven't watched it yet, or if you have watched it already, this is a great little thing to watch it once through and enjoy it and just bawl your eyes out, maybe, if you're into that, if it affects you that way. Hearing all those old voices and the newer voices and the characters all come together. Or, that's the first pass. The second pass is just literally going through frame by frame, seeing if you can catch every single character that shows up in this. And it's a big group. Yeah, it's a big group. So I highly recommend you check it out. If you're a Disney fan, you must be watching me. And I'm not affiliated with Disney. I just talk about it. And if you have Disney Plus, of course, this is the place to see it. Disney Plus, of course, has Once Upon a Studio. And yeah, that's all I can really say about it. It's a pretty fantastic thing. It's the kind of thing I think I would just, like I said, I want to watch this a few times over and see if I can pick out everybody. Ichabod Crane shows up at one point from the Headless Horseman. Come on. And almost loses his head in the process. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 164. Okay. Come on. 164. Oh, we got another series. Excuse me. It's an animated series. We'll watch one episode. I think I know what it is. I think there's a cat involved. Because this one's called Kif. Kif. I've seen it whenever I've been searching, making sure things are still on the channel. And Kif is it's a name that stands out. So, has nothing to do with Futurama. So this is Kiff. Kif is what we're watching next. So the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye. Oh yeah, there's a reason why I recognize this, because I already watched it last June. You know, and I get to this and I'm like, oh wait, it's episode 2. I must have watched episode 1 already. So I got to pick another one. Sorry for the confusion. This should have been checked off. I guess maybe it got added back on. Maybe they added another season or something, and it got added back to the thing. I don't know. I just got to make sure it doesn't show up again. Let's pick another number. 179. I always think that I've gone through everything and I've double checked it, but nope. Okay, now this is another thing. This is, unfortunately, we got another documentary here, reality show type thing, that I believe we watched a version of this show. This might be a spinoff. I'm gonna check it and see if we haven't already watched this one as well. But we just missed like a ton of shorts, a ton of them. But we're going to be watching one episode, we haven't already watched it, one episode of Life Below Zero, Northern Territories. As if the territories we watched last time weren't north enough. Life Below Zero, Northern Territories is what we're watching next, maybe on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.